Hey, Tom Hegna here. I wanted to give you some tips on how to thrive in this environment. And, I talked about attitude in another video. I've talked about activity in another video. I want to talk about professional development. See, this is a time to really sharpen your blade, to learn, to study, to read, and to train. And there's a number of ways you can do that. Look, I've got all kinds of online training and coaching at my website. I've got great books that have helped people write, hundreds of thousands of dollars of life insurance and annuities, and in the industry, hundreds of millions of dollars of life insurance, annuities, and long-term care. So I know I can help you, but there are other things you can do. You can study the products that you sell. You can become an expert. You can know what's guaranteed, what's not guaranteed, how do the fees work, what are the features, and how do they work. I'm telling you, a vast majority of financial advisors out there really don't know what all's guaranteed in the contracts and what isn't. They don't know some of the hidden fees and charges. And so this is a time to really dig in. Talk to your sales desk, talk to your wholesalers, go over this stuff, and not just know your product, know your competitor's product. I was taught early in this business that life insurance and annuities, it's kind of like a balloon. It's full of air. Now, one company can push the balloon this way. One company can push it this way. One company can push it this way, but there's still the same amount of air in that balloon. And the point there is nobody out there can develop some super duper product that's so much better than anybody else. They can push so the air goes in a different place, but there are always going to be some weaknesses in any product. So don't just know your product, know your competitor's product. I've told the story numerous times that when I was a brand new agent, I sold, mortgage protection to new home buyers. That's what new advisors do. And we only had an annual renewable term at the time. We didn't have 10-year and 20-year level premium. We had annual renewable term. And another company, I've named them in another thing because I worked for them for 15 years, but another company was beating me because they had a lower first-year rate. But our rate was cheaper over 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So once I learned that, see, they pushed the air so that their first year premium was low, but then the other premiums were higher. Once I learned that, I never lost another case. So know your policies, know your competitors' policies. Develop a library of disinterested third party references. See, you have a conflict of interest with your clients because if they buy, you get paid. If they don't buy, you don't get paid. Your company has a conflict of interest because if they buy, your company makes money, and if they don't buy, the company doesn't make money. But guess what? I don't get paid whether they buy or not. Dr. David Babel doesn't get paid. Dr. Wade Pfau, Dr. Michael Finke, none of them get paid whether they buy or not. Jamie Hopkins of Forbes magazine or Mary Beth Franklin, none of us get paid whether they buy or not. So develop a library of disinterested third parties that tell people why they need to do this, why it's in their best interest. We don't have a financial interest. I don't care if somebody buys an annuity or life insurance, but I'm going to show them why they should and how that will help them get the most for the least. And you got to work on your words and language as well. And so that's what I try to do is teach people the powerful words, language, questions, and stories. I wrote a white paper, Retirement Alpha. That's really a combination of many people's white papers. And I put all the key things that I think would be important to communicate to a client in that white paper. And I would encourage you to read that and use that. So this is a time for you to work on your professional development. You can get good fast if you can study. When I was a brand new agent, I watched the Kinder Brothers VHS tapes every morning. I learned their words, their language, their stories. That became my words, my language, my stories. I went to the MDRT site. I ordered cassette tapes of the top producers in the world. And when I was driving from appointment to appointment, I'm listening, I'm learning, and I can do the same thing for you. See, they fast-tracked me right to the top. I made MDRT my first year. I led my office in production every single year. And that's what I want to do for you. So whether you use my stuff or somebody else's, this is a time for professional development. It's time to sharpen the blade and get better at what you do.